China, a nation synonymous with ambitious infrastructure projects, is once again making headlines with its latest endeavor, a colossal dam along the Yarlung-Tsangpo River. This river, known as the Brahmaputra in India, is one of the major rivers of the world, flowing through Tibet, India, and Bangladesh. The dam, which is set to be one of the largest in the world, is part of China's broader strategy to harness the power of its natural resources and drive its economic growth. This project, shrouded in secrecy and met with a mixture of awe and apprehension, has the potential to reshape the very landscape of Asia. The sheer scale of the construction is staggering, involving thousands of workers, hundreds of pieces of heavy machinery, and an investment of billions of dollars. The dam is expected to generate a significant amount of hydroelectric power, which will be a boon for China's energy needs. The dam's implications extend far beyond its immediate physical footprint, touching upon delicate geopolitical balances, environmental concerns, and the economic future of multiple nations. The Yarlung-Tsangpo River is a lifeline for millions of people living downstream, and any changes to its flow could have profound impacts on agriculture, drinking water, and overall livelihoods. Environmentalists are particularly concerned about the potential for habitat destruction and the displacement of local communities. This new structure, poised to be one of the world's most powerful hydroelectric power plants, is more than just an engineering marvel. It symbolizes China's relentless drive towards modernization and its commitment to reducing its carbon footprint by shifting towards renewable energy sources. The dam is expected to produce more electricity than several nuclear power plants combined, providing a cleaner alternative to coal and other fossil fuels. It represents China's growing thirst for energy, its unwavering pursuit of economic development, and its assertive stance on the world stage. The energy generated by the dam will power homes, industries, and cities, fueling China's rapid urbanization and industrialization. This project is a testament to China's engineering prowess and its ability to undertake and complete mega-projects that have far-reaching implications. However, this ambition comes at a cost. The environmental impact of such a massive construction project cannot be overstated. Deforestation, soil erosion, and the disruption of local ecosystems are just a few of the potential negative consequences. The river's natural flow will be altered, which could lead to reduced water quality and availability for downstream communities. The delicate balance of the region's biodiversity is at risk, with several species potentially facing habitat loss. The dam's construction has ignited tensions with downstream neighbors, particularly India and Bangladesh, who fear the potential consequences for their own water security and environmental well-being. These countries rely heavily on the Brahmaputra River for agriculture, drinking water, and industry. Any significant changes to the river's flow could lead to water shortages, reduced agricultural yields, and increased conflict over water resources. Diplomatic efforts are underway to address these concerns, but the situation remains tense. The international community watches with bated breath as the dam takes shape, its imposing presence a physical manifestation of China's growing clout. The project has attracted global attention, with environmentalists, policymakers, and media outlets closely monitoring its progress. The dam is seen as a symbol of China's rising influence and its ability to shape the future of the region. As construction continues, the world is keenly observing how China navigates the complex web of environmental, geopolitical, and economic challenges. The world is left to grapple with the question: will this megadam be a force for progress and prosperity, or will it unleash a torrent of unintended consequences, further inflaming regional tensions and jeopardizing the delicate ecological balance of the region? The answer remains uncertain, but one thing is clear: the Yarlung-Tsangpo Dam is a project of unprecedented scale and ambition, and its impact will be felt for generations to come. As we look to the future, the choices made today will determine whether this colossal endeavor becomes a beacon of sustainable development or a cautionary tale of overreach and environmental degradation. The Yarlung-Tsangpo River, originating in the Tibetan Plateau, is no ordinary waterway. Often referred to as the roof of the world, this region is the source of several major rivers that sustain life for billions in Asia. The river, known as the Brahmaputra in India and the Jamuna in Bangladesh, carves its way through the Himalayas before emptying into the Bay of Bengal. It is here, in this geographically sensitive and strategically vital region, that China has chosen to erect its mega dam. The sheer scale of the project is staggering. While details remain shrouded in secrecy, reports suggest the dam's height could rival or even surpass that of the Three Gorges Dam, currently the world's largest power station. The dam's reservoir, a sprawling artificial lake, will hold back billions of cubic meters of water, fundamentally altering the flow of the Yarlung Tsangpo. This ability to control such a significant volume of water has sparked concerns among downstream nations, who worry about China's potential to manipulate the river's flow for its own strategic advantage. The dam's location, perched high in the Himalayas, adds another layer of complexity. This seismically active region is prone to earthquakes, raising concerns about the dam's structural integrity and the potential for catastrophic failure. A breach at such a high altitude could have devastating consequences for millions living downstream, wiping out entire villages and crippling infrastructure in its wake. The Yarlung Tsangpo River, originating in the Tibetan Plateau, is no ordinary waterway. Often referred to as the roof of the world, this region is the source of several major rivers that sustain life for billions in Asia. These rivers, including the mighty Brahmaputra, the Ganges, and the Indus, are the lifeblood of the continent, providing water for drinking, agriculture, and industry. The Yarlung Tsangpo itself is a river of immense power and beauty, cutting through some of the most rugged and remote terrain on Earth. The river, known as the Brahmaputra in India and the Jamuna in Bangladesh, carves its way through the Himalayas before emptying into the Bay of Bengal. Along its journey, it passes through diverse landscapes, from the high-altitude Tibetan Plateau to the lush plains of Assam and the vast delta of Bangladesh. The river is a vital source of water and a key transportation route for millions of people. It is here in this geographically sensitive and strategically vital region that China has chosen to erect its mega dam. The project is part of China's broader strategy to harness the power of its rivers for economic and strategic purposes. The dam is expected to generate a massive amount of hydroelectric power, which will help to meet China's growing energy needs and reduce its reliance on coal. The sheer scale of the project is staggering. The dam will be one of the largest in the world, with a height that could rival or even surpass that of the Three Gorges Dam. The construction of such a massive structure in a remote and rugged region presents significant engineering challenges. While details remain shrouded in secrecy, reports suggest the dam's height could rival or even surpass that of the Three Gorges Dam, currently the world's largest power station. The Three Gorges Dam is a marvel of modern engineering, and the new dam on the Yarlung Tsangpo is expected to be no less impressive. The dam's reservoir, a sprawling artificial lake, will hold back billions of cubic meters of water, fundamentally altering the flow of the Yarlung Tsangpo. This will have significant impacts on the river's ecosystem and the communities that depend on it. The reservoir will also create a new body of water in a region that is already water scarce. This ability to control such a significant volume of water has sparked concerns among downstream nations, who worry about China's potential to manipulate the river's flow for its own strategic advantage. Water is a critical resource in this region, and any changes to the flow of the Yarlung Tsangpo could have far-reaching consequences. Downstream countries like India and Bangladesh are particularly concerned about the potential for water shortages and reduced agricultural productivity. The dam's location, perched high in the Himalayas, adds another layer of complexity. The Himalayas are one of the most seismically active regions in the world, and the construction of a massive dam in this area presents significant risks. The region is prone to earthquakes, landslides, and other natural disasters that could threaten the dam's structural integrity. This seismically active region is prone to earthquakes, raising concerns about the dam's structural integrity and the potential for catastrophic failure. A major earthquake could cause the dam to fail, releasing a massive amount of water downstream. The consequences of such a failure would be devastating, with the potential to cause widespread flooding and loss of life. A breach at such a high altitude could have devastating consequences for millions living downstream, wiping out entire villages and crippling infrastructure in its wake. The potential for such a disaster has raised serious concerns among experts and policymakers, who are calling for greater transparency and international cooperation in the management of the Yarlung Tsangpo River. For India and Bangladesh, countries heavily reliant on the waters of the Yarlung Tsangpo Brahmaputra Jamuna river system, the dam's construction has triggered a wave of anxiety. This river system is not just a geographical feature, it is the lifeblood of millions of people who depend on its waters for their daily needs. The river's flow supports vast agricultural lands, sustains industries, and provides drinking water to countless communities. The construction of the dam by China has raised alarms about the future availability and quality of this crucial resource. Their concerns are rooted in the understanding that water is not merely a resource, but a lifeline, essential for agriculture, industry, and the very survival of their populations. In rural areas, farmers rely on the river for irrigation, ensuring their crops can grow and feed their families. In urban centers, industries depend on a steady water supply to maintain production and economic stability. The river also plays a critical role in maintaining the ecological balance of the region, supporting diverse flora and fauna. India in particular views the dam with suspicion, seeing it as a potential tool for Chinese coercion. The strategic location of the dam gives China the ability to control the flow of water into India, which could be used as leverage in times of political tension. This has led to increased military vigilance along the border and the deployment of surveillance technologies to monitor the situation closely. The potential for water to be used as a weapon in geopolitical conflicts is a real and pressing concern for Indian authorities. The two countries share a history of border disputes and geopolitical rivalry, and the dam has become a new flashpoint in their complex relationship. Historical tensions have often flared up into standoffs and skirmishes, and the addition of water rights to the list of contentious issues only complicates matters further. The disputed border areas are not just lines on a map, they represent deeply held national interests and identities, making any negotiation fraught with difficulty. The ability to regulate the river's flow gives China considerable leverage over India, particularly in times of drought or political tension. During dry seasons, the controlled release of water can mean the difference between a bountiful harvest and a devastating drought for Indian farmers. This power dynamic places India in a vulnerable position, dependent on the goodwill and strategic decisions of its northern neighbor. The potential for water scarcity adds another layer of urgency to the already tense relations between the two countries. Bangladesh, already grappling with the effects of climate change and rising sea levels, fears the dam will exacerbate its existing water woes. The country is highly susceptible to flooding, and any changes in the river's flow could lead to more frequent and severe flood events. Coastal erosion and saltwater intrusion are already significant problems, and the dam's impact could worsen these issues, threatening the livelihoods of millions of people living in low-lying areas. The country relies heavily on the river's flow for agriculture and freshwater supply, and any disruption could have dire consequences for its food security and economic stability. Rice paddies, which are a staple of the Bangladeshi diet, require consistent and reliable water sources. Freshwater fishing, another critical component of the local economy, depends on the health of the river ecosystem. Markets bustling with agricultural produce are a testament to the river's importance in sustaining the nation's food supply and economic activities. The lack of transparency from China regarding the dam's design, operation, and potential downstream impacts has only fueled mistrust and suspicion. Without clear information, downstream countries are left to speculate about the worst-case scenarios. This opacity undermines any efforts at regional cooperation and fosters an environment of suspicion and fear. The need for open communication and shared data is critical to building trust and ensuring that all parties can manage the river's resources sustainably. Without clear communication and binding agreements on water sharing, the dam threatens to become a source of perpetual discord, undermining regional stability and hindering cooperation on critical transboundary water management. Multinational efforts to address water rights and management are essential to prevent conflicts and ensure that the river can continue to support the diverse needs of all the countries it flows through. Protests and public outcry highlight the urgency of finding a solution that respects the rights and needs of all stakeholders. The river's future depends on collaborative efforts to manage its waters wisely and equitably.